Welcome to War of the Weirds, where the strange the discovery, the greatest chance of victory. In war, there are some who fall by the wayside, and in this episode we honor the fallen. Not spoken of in the heat of battle, but now we present to you an edition of what is known as Collateral Damage.
Hello, and welcome to War of the Weirds. I'm Broomy.
And I'm screwing this whole thing up. All right.
Yeah. Oh, you're Mystic? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. This is take 4. Okay. Yep.
This Collateral Damage episode, which is like sort of a semi-bonus episode type thing we're releasing in between some episode, like mainstay episodes of the podcast, where
mainstay,
we cover
that's a good
things.
word.
Thank you. We cover things that we don't get to cover in the main episode because not enough time, etc.
Yeah, we don't like derail and digress the whole time, and
yeah.
So it's this is more laid back. This is the Collateral Damage episode. This episode is particularly damaged, but yeah, we're having a good time.
It's great. It's great. I love it. Technical difficulties. Yum. But yeah. First, like a little bit of business up top is we got
like a mullet.
What?
Business up top.
What? What the fuck did you just say to me? No. Party. Yeah. So business up top. This is the part nobody likes. And then in the back of the podcast, the last 5 seconds, I guarantee it's going to be a party in the back. But the first, 50 minutes, it's going to be a burden on your listening ears. So listen up.
Listen. While you're stuck at home, not able to go into work or go to anything, listen to this podcast.
Yeah. I mean, they already decided to do it, but do it more.
Right. Listen harder. Don't just listen. Hear. Oh, wait. No, it's not. No, it's the reverse. Don't just hear. Listen.
There you go. But yeah.
I think hearing is passive and listening is active.
True. The business up top. Freaking a couple weeks ago, Meth Man versus Dead Man was an episode, and it resulted. The poll results came back on which was the weirder story, and it was a tie. And I don't think we should do poll results being a tie, meaning nobody wins the episode, because at this point I feel that it's been too long that we haven't had a victory that resulted in the other person ingesting a strange or terrible piece of media and reporting back.
Right. Because,
I got juicy strangeness and terribleness in the wings, just waiting to be ingested.
I'm not a fan of that phrase, that the words you just said in that
I
order.
feel it's perfect phrasing, and I'm not going to back down on this.
I do have to derail here for a second and say that just because of that turn of phrase, I recently begun interacting with this AI that you can text message, and it like learns things about you as you talk, and like you can it'll do like some reflective journaling prompts and questions, and just somebody to talk to you and chat, and it'll text you back, like it'll double text you. It's like quadruple texted me if you don't respond to it. But I was testing to see if it could, like, how well it could read through typos. And so I like misspelled everything and said, like, if I talk like this, do you understand? And it said, yes, I hear you, I understand you. And then I said, what's a pigeon? But I spelled it Pigion. To see if it would tell me, like, if it would, could detect what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
The response was disagreeably damp or uncomfortably wet.
Whoa.
And that's all it said. I was like, all right.
What could it
keep interacting with this?
What could it have referenced there?
I have no idea. But
I'm
this app is
pig,
pretty funny.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like a pig ion. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, that's a thing. Like negative ions come from the ocean.
All right, sure. I don't know enough about science to tell you that you're wrong. So I guess that's right.
Yeah, I don't know. That's literally all I know. Beyond, like, what is a negative ion? That's where my knowledge ends. But yeah, as far as ties go, though, I think they should, when there are polls that end in a tie, I think we should have a tiebreaker rules.
Right.
And the one that I'm really proposing is if one of us tells a story that the other person doesn't know, but the other tells a story that the other person does know, the one who told the story that the other person doesn't know wins, if it's a tie.
Yeah. So if I tell you a story and you've heard my topic before, then I lose.
But the reverse isn't true, then yeah. Okay. But if we both, it wouldn't work if we both told the story that neither of us knew, or you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, we have opened up the email address waroftheweirds@gmail.com to suggestions for either topics, your own weird tales, or suggestions for like what kind of media the other should consume, or the loser of these battles.
Yes.
But I think we could also open up to like tiebreaker suggestions. Like, I mean, yeah, there's like flip a coin or rock paper scissors, but like let's think of something creative and like specific to the format and the criteria or the content that we're putting out. Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't like another one. I didn't look into it. I could have, but another pitch I was thinking was if we each take a bet on whether like the other person has to bet the other one whether Tom DeLonge's latest tweet is about something paranormal or music.
Oh, yeah.
Because, he's still in bands and stuff, so he's still probably posting about it.
Yeah. That's a good idea, too.
But yeah, so that's the tiebreaker thing. And back into what we're known for, being the greatest presenters of the latest in coronavirus news. Which, not really, folks. No worries, not really going to get into the nitty-gritty of the virus itself, but there are weird things around the virus, such as the fact that a lot of talk shows, are not going to have audiences for some time. And
which is very weird.
That is very odd to me. It's like, to me, I think of it, and like that includes late night talk shows, by the way, which is fine. That I feel will work more than examples like the Ellen Show.
Yeah, because the late night talk shows are like very scripted.
Yeah, they're scripted. I mean, yeah, exactly.
It's like a formula. It's formulaic.
I mean, so is daytime talk shows, but I feel daytime talk shows are built on the energy of the audience most of the time. Yeah. Like,
imagine like The Price is Right, where they just like have. It's not a talk show. I'm just thinking about like the energy from, because that show has unmatched energy. It's so weird. It's also a really weird concept.
Price is Right?
The Price is Right, yeah.
You're saying that show has, like, of all shows with a live audience, that show has the most energetic live audience.
I wouldn't say most energetic, but I'd say the most like weird energy.
Sure, yeah.
And they like dress up in costumes and stuff, and yeah, it's pretty weird. It's
odd. I agree. But yeah, it's a funny idea that that there's just a completely empty audience And I don't know, they have like camera guys as
Yeah.
contestants
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they can't have an audience.
You can
But,
Skype.
yeah, they Skype in. They have like, I don't know what it would be called, just a ton of little mini screens with people's faces on it. They
Yeah.
just like, come on down, and it just full screens a person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking about it though, and just like, you know who Wendy Williams is?
Yes.
Yeah, she has a daytime talk show.
Yeah. Yeah. I did not know that.
You didn't know Wendy Williams had a daytime talk show? That's
No.
literally the only thing I know about Wendy Williams.
I thought you knew about pig ions.
What? Pig ions? Yeah. I know a lot about pig ions, but
yeah.
the thing about Wendy Williams' talk show is like it's I don't know, it's like a gossipy EW Entertainment Weekly type of thing, but she like talks into the camera about celebrities and rumors and stuff, and whatever, but like there is a lot of audience reaction shots in that show, and I mean a lot.
Yeah.
Of like close-ups of like, I don't know, 4 to 6 people's faces. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Whereas
thinking like,
yeah.
Oh no, keep going.
I was just gonna say, whereas like a lot of talk shows have sort of wider shots of like the whole crowd responding or whatever. Whereas this is like getting up close to like 4 to 6 people at a time.
Yeah. I'm thinking like Dr. Phil. I don't even know if that's still on, but like that's like the audience is pretty involved in that.
Oh yeah.
Or like Maury.
Yeah. You are not the father, and then the guy's just dancing, and there's
one guy,
people freaking out at all. It's just like, and the one was like, "You're being a real asshole, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
what are you doing?" Yeah.
It's talk shows. It's because you perform. First of all, going into an empty auditorium or an empty thing that's supposed to be filled with people feels like a place that exists out of time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't imagine people perform and record like go through like recording studios and film things, and like they're used to having a set or like doing a mic check for an empty room, but like then that's the actual show. It's gonna feel very weird.
Yeah, it's real bizarre. That's all I had on the talk show thing. It's just it's weird.
Yeah. Talk shows are weird.
But another coronavirus thing that I just found funny was so in France, you probably heard about this. There was a big rally that was held very recently. Just a bunch of people dressed as Smurfs.
Of course, I was trying to be there, but couldn't get off work. So
yeah, you got travel to France to be a Smurf money. I'm jealous. But yeah, that happened, and then the French president was getting a lot of flack for that because for allowing that, and his response was something to the effect of, I don't have it pulled up, so it was something to the effect of, we cannot stop living because of this.
Yeah.
And I is the definition of living to be a Smurf in a large crowd?
That's, they're living their best life.
I don't think that's true.
Agree to disagree. We all have different priorities, You got to put yourself in their what is Smurfs wear shoes? Or are they barefoot? I don't even know. Put yourself in their Smurf shoes, or
I think they do wear shoes.
I don't know.
I think a lot of times they don't wear much else, but they wear a hat and shoes.
Yeah. Okay. They wear like white pants or something.
Yeah, white pants.
What a weird. How do you want to know? That definitely had like that was all a metaphor for drugs, right? They like live in mushrooms, and
I mean,
he sees them in his garden. Like that's all got to be about drugs, right?
Yeah, probably. Actually, I mean, it's not difficult to think. I don't know when that started, like when that show started. If it was like the '60s or something, it feels older. But yeah, and then of course there's the Snorks or whatever the fuck they were called, which was just a blatant ripoff of the Smurfs that nobody cared about.
Wasn't that the name of the cat in Thundercats?
No, that was some like
he did the voice,
some kind of shit. I don't know.
That was the voice. All right, I'm looking it up. Thundercats. Also, in the last episode, I was like, all right, I gotta look this up real quick. We can cut out the dead space. And we did not. It was just like some time where I'm just like,
there wasn't that much dead space. That's
it.
why I didn't cut it out. I was just like, you said cut out the dead space, and then like 2 seconds later you were talking. So I was
Snarf.
Like, I'm not gonna cut it.
It says snarf. Okay, that's all right. Snarf. Yeah. That's also that was drugs.
Yeah, just that part though. Everything else in that show made a lot of sense, but
I mean, I thought so. Like it's real. They're real.
Yeah.
So
Thundercats are hoes.
True.
Thundercats.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just found that a funny response. Like, I get his sentiment. I don't know that I agree with it. Whatever. Yeah. But it's just like, we can't stop living. This is the essence of life. But
I mean, like, living is a key word there because, like, not death. So, like, coronavirus.
Yeah, mass gathering of people.
Yeah,
spread.
Yeah.
I mean,
the virus is living.
Oh yeah,
the virus is thriving.
Hey, baby.
Yeah,
that corona. It's
my corona.
I was thinking literally about that, and I was like, I wonder if there's already a parody of that. And I'm like, I bet there's like 20 on YouTube right now.
Oh yeah.
Because I thought of it in an instant when
right. Yeah, and I just thought of it as you said it, so it's like, yeah, somebody else has had to have thought of this.
Yeah, I'm guessing 20 other people have had that thought and executed it.
Yes.
But yeah, that's I don't know if you had another weird thing about the coronavirus, but that's pretty much my weird things.
No. I just like lots of people, like lots of things are being shut down. That's unfortunate. Did you talk about like the specific dates?
Oh yeah. Where we didn't. Universal Studios was closed down. Is going to close down at this point when we're recording, like March 18th to March 28th or something like that. Where it's just like, good that you're closing down, probably, but
right.
Did the virus send you an email that it was going to stop? Because that's the only reason to just pop back on, really.
Yeah.
If you
so
like,
probably be fine.
Coronavirus will be dying down by that point, so we just want to like come back in full force and just spike it back up.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Like once it starts to die down, let's just like get it going, get some chatter about it. Get it in the press again. Who
Everybody
says
loves
press
a comeback,
these days?
kid.
People say papers or the news.
People say press.
People say press.
Less people say papers, but they still say.
That's not really yeah. All right, weird.
But yeah, that's my coronavirus thing. You got a thing.
Nice. Actually, I have 3 things. 1, I study psychology, and I was looking at jobs in the area, and one of the therapist's office that I found was it had third wave in the title, and that's a thing that we have talked about before, just between the two of us. But real quick recap of this thing. So the third wave was a psych experiment. It was like a teaching experiment that psychologists have studied. Basically, this guy was like teaching about Nazis, and the class was like, but how did all of Germany just like follow Hitler? And they're like, this is what we want to do. Like, how did nobody speak up? How is that? And so it's basically like boiling a frog. Like, you just do slow boil and heat it up, and like people never notice. So this teacher like began implementing these like very weird restrictive like not tasks but like rules for the classroom. Like students had to like dress a certain way or stand up to speak, and it began like pretty subtle, just like it's gonna be like a really organized and like orderly class. But it developed like its own culture, and people from other classes wanted to like join into this class and were skipping their own classes to be a part of it, and all this stuff just showed how any horrible concept can be like spread and seem enticing. But anyways, I feel like that's a weird thing to put in your it's like a parody of the Third Reich.
Yeah,
the name of the guy named the class. So the teacher that like did this whole experiment, he called like the group that was supposed to be like a parallel to Nazis was called the Third Wave. And they could like identify themselves by like the little badges they wore, bandanas or something. I don't know. But yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Does that sound familiar?
Oh, that's really neat.
Yeah, and people started like making their own or like getting to be a part of it and pretend they were part of it, all this stuff. But anyways, yeah, I feel like that's a weird thing to put in your. I mean, yeah, it's a psychological phenomenon, but yeah. Anyways, I came across that.
How about just
you're
like,
referencing a psychological
psychopath junction. That's our offices.
But anyways, so last episode, which is posted today upon recording, was about my what I had to share was about the 1904 Olympics and some bizarre things that happened there. But I want to talk about like a little bit about some other weird things that have happened in the Olympics. So November 15th, 1859 began the revival of the Olympics into the modern world, and it was held in Athens. Because like the Olympic Games was a thing, and then like they were like, let's bring it back. So this was exclusive to people who were of Greek ethnicity. And instead of welcoming all countries to compete, people were only allowed if they were Greek by being from inside the independent Greek state or from the Greek diaspora, or diaspora, depending on how you say it. I like diaspora, of the Ottoman Empire. So it was like the bare minimum of inclusivity. And the reward for this was a monetary prize. There was a marathon, and some guy, right? His name is
I think so. Yeah,
I have like hopefully 5 different like documents and tabs open. For the first Olympic game. His name was William Penny Brooks. He was an English doctor and surgeon, and he sent 10 pounds to Athens for the prize for the best runner in the marathon. This was the largest prize ever offered. Big spender. 10 pounds. So I converted that to modern day, like that was 1859. I converted that to 2020 pounds, and then from pounds into US dollars, it's about $1,500. Like, I mean, you're having this like national event, and like $1,500 is the prize. That's probably didn't even cover like traveling expenses to get there. Because the guy that won was actually from the Ottoman Empire. Like he did have to travel, even though it was, I had to include that.
By the way, what does like I've seen the word and probably got it from context clues. Diaspora.
Yeah, people that were
mean?
So when the Ottomans broke had established the empire, some of territories and boundaries were just kind of all over the place. So there were Greek people that was like in Ottoman occupied or controlled land, but they were Greek, and then the Ottomans came in and were like, you're part of our empire now, and they're like, all right, well, we're still Greek, by culture.
Yeah, they're
like
still
you're not
Greek
Right.
citizens.
Yeah, like that's their culture and stuff. Even though they were broken off from like Greece officially. So yeah, it's kind of I mean it's like spread, like they're spread through like political and geographical boundaries.
Yeah.
Another thing that happened in this event, in these games, 1859 games, a policeman who was assigned to like watch the crowds, part of crowd control, just left and joined into the race. He just like, this seems I could probably do this stuff. I'm in pretty good shape. I had to do like a fitness test to be on the force, so let's show them up in my full gear. There was a homeless man. He pretended to be blind when he was begging for money, for pity, and then he was like he jumped up and participated in the race. So it was, people love to run apparently. Like now I see somebody running, I'm like, I would not want to do that, but these guys, they were dying to do it. Like one guy almost lost his job to do it, and the other guy didn't have a job, but like being blind was a pretty big part of his life, or pretending to be, for money. And he's like, I'm going to abandon this whole identity that I've worked hard to establish so I can also run.
Yeah. I mean, it's the glory.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to chase it.
Yeah.
And how do you chase things if not by
literally chasing them? Yeah.
Them?
Run towards those streams.
Yeah.
Another thing that happened. Oh, so okay, as of 1859, winners received a cash prize, but the three winners, the top three, they got olive wreaths and small branches of olive and laurel. So they're like, here's first place got the $1,500, and then you can just have some sticks for second place that we've made into a circle, and then third place you can have some branches too.
Olive branch comes from?
That's a biblical thing. That's like some Noah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't recall all of it.
Sorry, Noah. Sorry about that.
We can get back to that. We can touch on that story at some point, maybe.
I mean, if it's weird,
pretty weird.
Sure.
There's a lot of weird stuff in the Bible.
Yeah. Oh, sure. But
it's pretty.
I don't know the
pretty
weird
overdone.
aspect of that.
No.
Story.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, you going fast forward to 1875. You had the 1875 Olympics, and they had different categories than what you think of now. They had artistic competitions, and 25 composers won awards, and 25 sculptors and painters were honored. So really like the opposite of people that would be in the Olympics today. Were pretty much like carrying the games in 1875. That's can you imagine having an Olympic event for painting? Like is this like a wine and paint night where you had to like paint the same things and it's all judged on whose is better or
yeah, I mean, based on their criteria for people entering their Olympic races, then it might as well be a wine and paint night.
Yeah.
Whereas a homeless guy and a policeman that was not supposed to run can just jump in.
Pretty relaxed atmosphere, I think.
But I would say that, like, I think it's super weird and different than what we have now. But I don't know how against it I would be. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking of like the ice skating. That is very artistic.
Right.
It's also very athletic.
I
see that. But it is very artistic, the choices on
True. like floor routines and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and they are also being judged on that at the same time, adding with all of their whatevers. Spinny spins. I believe
that's
they're
the technical term,
called.
yeah. But I don't like. I like paintings and I like sculptures. But I was looking at the word sculptor and I was like, that's not right. I was like, what do you call it? Is just a sculptors sculpt things? It's just called a sculpt? Nope, that's not right either. So all that happened in my head while I was slowly saying sculptures. I like sculptures and paintings, but I definitely do not like watching paintings and watching sculpting. I don't even like the speed videos, on like YouTube. Speed painting.
You don't like those?
I've tried to watch some. They're just not great to me. But also like there's the whole phrase about like I'd rather watch paint dry. Literally what these people were doing at the games. All right.
And clay.
Okay,
clay.
Yeah. Or stone or marble. I don't know if they were chiseling. I don't know. Okay, is sculpting?
Yeah.
If you chisel it, is it still a sculpture? Because like you didn't like sculpting. I feel like means to like mold. Whereas if you're chiseling things away, that's different. Like making statues.
You're saying putting forward that is a chiselture.
Right. That is a chiselture. Yeah.
I think we stand firmly that is a chiselture.
The verdict. And, okay, cool. Glad to have some backup there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there was some politics of all this going on, with Evangelos Zappas. He died in 65. He left a fortune to construct like a permanent facility for the Olympic Games and all this stuff, and there was a foundation for him laid, and a lot of litigation, some controversy and stuff. Zappa's relatives and the Greek government. Anyways, so after all this back and forth, finally, 1890, it was Prince Constantine and Foreign Minister Stefanos Dragoumis, probably mispronounced that, officially decreed that the Olympics would be reinstated every 4 years. It would be the 4-year intervals which we know today. However, 1892 did not happen. There was no funding from the government. So, and
at that time it was still like Greeks.
Right. Yeah, it was. Well, there. Yeah. In 75, there was it was only available to university students, upper class and cultured people. Is just real elitist for a lot of this stuff. They didn't want beggars and policemen just jumping in. They wanted like, So that's the backstory. That's what happened with the Olympics. They kind of had a weird start. The rewards were nothing to write home about. I don't even know. But anyways, so that's that. There's something I did want to touch on too, because I mentioned last week or last episode about a man named Felix Carbajal. He was a mailman from Cuba that competed in the 1902 Olympics, and to raise money to get to where the Olympics were being held in St. Louis, he
Is it 1902 or
1904? Yes, 1904. Okay. Thank you.
Good.
Yes, it is 1904.
Wrong.
I was reading the 92. I was still thinking about the 92 being canceled. But anyways, the Felix Carbajal, he was a mailman from Cuba. He raised money to attend the games by running the length of Cuba with like sponsors. Like he he did it and people donated.
Yeah, you did mention that.
So that made me think about another story that I'd heard. This is kind of it's a bizarre tale on its own, not enough for a full episode. But there was a Canadian man. He disappeared in 2012. His name was Anton Pilipa. I don't know. Pilipa sounds right. Yeah, so 2012 went missing, 39 years old. 5 years later, he was found wandering around the Amazon. That he had apparently walked, it's like 10,000 kilometers. 10,460 kilometers from his house in Canada. They don't know if he like walked, if he was able to get public transportation, or like how he ended up there. But he walked from Canada to South America. And he was just found like barefoot and homeless, wandering around. He suffers from schizophrenia. And that's like what precipitated this whole event, which is sad. But yeah, what a story. Like his family had like not given up hope on him. They still like it was a roller coaster reunion, because when he was found, the police took him in and like talked to him and was able to like contact his family and say like, is this him? So they went down there and he had escaped police custody, and it wasn't for like another month that he was found again. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So his like they found him again, and so like imagine like 5 years, your brother's missing. This is the sister was like the main person that was going to find him. No, I'm sorry. It was his brother. Yeah, so they get a call out of the blue 5 years later, like you've mourned the death of your brother, or decided that he wants nothing to do with your family. You like hope. I mean, I don't know what you hope for in that situation. That like he's somewhere suffering without medication, and like who knows where, or living in what kind of conditions. Or would you hope that he like found a peaceful end? Or I can't wrap my mind around that at all.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a horrible situation.
His brother Stefan said that he told himself, he like tried to convince himself that he was dead, just like that's the only thing that would explain what had happened, like other than like being abandoned or anything painful. Everything else is painful to consider. But of course he was hoping he wasn't dead, but so then they get a call after 5 years and like, hey, we have your brother, and you fly all the way down there, and then he's escaped custody and he's missing again, and you don't know when or if you'll ever see him again. He traveled through at least 10 countries: United States, Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, Venezuela, Argentina, and Brazil. No passport, nothing with what he could carry on his back.
You sounded like you were going into that Animaniac song. Yeah, I don't know it at all. There's some people who can recite it word for word.
That will be my mission from now on. I'll do that, and then I'll perform it on this show. Yeah,
please.
So his brother Stefan, Stefan, it's probably Stefan, right? Said that Anton had one mission, and that was to get to the National Library of Buenos Aires in Argentina. And is it Aires? Buenos Aires? I don't know.
It's okay.
I'm not good at languages.
I'm giving you the pass.
Thanks. So he walked thousands of miles to the library, and he didn't have ID, so he was turned away. And so that was Argentina, and then he just started walking to Brazil, and then was eventually found.
Gee, walked thousands
to get turned away.
To this
and
library.
that stops you. Like that's the final. Like you.
Yeah, you get turned away at the door. It's like, sorry, you need an ID, and he's just like,
Yeah.
well, thousands.
I did
of
my
miles,
best. That's all I could do.
I guess not.
Yeah. He
should have called first.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. He said that, or he walked. Is that calculated that he walked about 800 kilometers alone through the Amazon and survived? Like jaguars, snakes, poisonous things, and also just like due to the terrain and the wear and tear on his feet, all of his toenails dropped off.
Yeah. Are you scared of that being a?
I'm a little bit scared of it now.
Your toenails having
no, I actually need to trim them. They're a little long, but now I'm worried about but I'm just gonna stay away from the Amazon and see if that does it.
You're missing out, dude.
What I want to just say one thing to like summarize this and have it like a happy ending. We had like a long beard and long hair and was unkempt. That's not the happy ending. They used a GoFundMe to get him back, like to pay for his fare and like readjustment, like getting him back out of, which is good. Like that was a good use of the public did a good thing and donated.
Sure.
But he's quoted as saying, "I've never felt alone. It's been a lot of thinking for years, sleeping in the open. It's very simple to live. We do not need many things." I was like, wow, that's a crazy but true thing. Yeah, that's wise. Yeah. It's some wisdom, a little nugget of wisdom. Yeah. All right, happy ending.
Yay. But that was but that's all of your tales.
That's all of my tales.
Day? One thing that you mentioned on the Olympics episode was it was called the something of the Third Olympiad.
Yes, the official title of the 1904 Summer Olympics was the Games of the Third Olympiad.
So why is that?
Why was it called that? So an Olympiad is a period of 4 years associated with the Olympic Games. So this calendar, this whole thing dates back to like when the Olympiad first began in 776 BC, and then lasted just once to 772 BC. It was it lasted 4 years, like the games. So the second Olympiad would begin with the commencement of the next games. Yeah. So it's the modern Olympiad is the 4 year period, January 1st of the year in which the Summer Olympic Games take place. Yep. The first modern one was in 1896, because they like tried to revive the Olympic Games, but that was just like in Greece. So when they finally started to expand it in 1896, it was that was the first Olympiad. The second one was in 1900, and then of course the third, which we know, was 1904.
That's sweet 1904. Yeah. And isn't Olympiad also the name of that people call the actual athletes? They're Olympiads?
I thought it was Olympians. Or no? With an N.
Olympians, you're right. So we end on me being wrong.
Dumbass. What? What?
Whoa.
I think there's a ghost in the mic. Like, just saying some pretty rude stuff.
Rude dude ghost. Don't care for it. But that is this week's Collateral Damage episode. Check us out. Next week we'll have a real deal versus episode where one of us will be destroyed in battle, but probably we'll have a valiant effort behind it, and we'll tell some weird stories. We'll have some good times, and we'll see you on the next one. I mean, get in the music industry.
It's my career. I'm leaving the podcast to start a jazz scatting podcast. We're just scat jazz for an hour.